On this episode of the Green Street Beat, we will highlight the Downtown Market Plaza, what features the project will have, and the impact it will bring to the city. Let's do this. I'm joined today with Mayor Bill Baird, Assistant City Manager Ryan Elam, and Vice President of Lane 4, Brandon Buckley. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So today we're going to be talking about the Downtown Market Plaza. And the first question I have for y'all is, where did the idea for a Downtown Market Plaza originate?
Yeah, there was a general obligation bond issuance in 2013 that really kind of started the funding for the project, but I believe the idea for that came through several community conversations prior to that bond election.
Yeah, and the original conceptuals that were done via stakeholder groups had the farmers market on the corner of 3rd and Green, but it was taking up a lot more space than what the city had in ownership. So I know that when I got to office, I was like, okay, how can we do this and more? So we just kind of expanded upon the ideas that had been put forth in the past.
Yeah, I think if you look back through the master plans, there's been discussion about a downtown farmers market, at least 10 years, if not further back, and a lot of community conversations on that. There was also discussion about a performing arts center and where that would go, and there was discussion over the old City Hall site, even the old Arnold Hall site as well. We're all kind of part of those conversations related to a performing arts center. And then the downtown Main Street and the downtown CID was formed. Not Main Street. Main Street's been around for a while. CID was formed. And there was discussion about how they can make the farmers market even more special than it was. So all of that kind of was community conversation, I'll say, for years until the election in 2013. And then additional charrettes occurred, additional planning efforts, 2, 3, maybe even 4 different plans were developed. But there was never enough funding. There was never enough of a plan to really be able to move forward with until here recently when we were able to embark on this current version.
Could you please describe the project? What components make up the project, both public and private, and maybe some of their uses?
Well, of course, we have a farmers market that is extremely functional, can be used 365 days a year. The final version that we came up with is going to be heated and cooled. That way we can use it 365. We kept it simple so that it could be more functional and serve more purposes, because we do want it used continuously throughout the year. It's going to have the cool garage doors, of course. It's going to have an outdoor space right beside it that's going to have a canopy, so we can have a spillover from farmers market. It's 50 stalls on the inside, and it'll spill over for another 50 outside, so that's 100 stalls. And it would be covered because of the canopy. But that area could also serve for concerts or any kind of production or other events as well. I'm really excited about the look. It's a look that's been shaped many times over the last few years, and it's just, I think, classic and fits our downtown as far as the quaintness, the charm. We did turn the front of City Hall as well as the street, Green Street, into a performance venue with regard to also similar to the canopy area, where we could have smaller musical events, theater groups and gatherings and such. There's a wicket garden. It's going to be park-like. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be inviting. When you come around the corner of 3rd and Green, you're going to look down the street and just say, I want to go down there. I want to see what is down this street. So it's going to be pedestrian only. There's not going to be cars racing up and down, competing with a music event outdoors. It'll have a little bit of insulation that way, but we're super excited. It's been a long haul, but we're here.
And to complement the public components of the project, will also be 3 private components, 3 pad sites really. I'll start with the first, which is a restaurant pad. It'll be on the north side of the outdoor performance space. Really the goal of that is to seamlessly interact with that outdoor event space by really sharing a patio. If there's live music or an event going on, you can sit out and have a nice meal with your family and engage in that. If there's not something going on, it's a great place for kids to play. I know I've got a 10-year-old, and for him to be able to go run around while we have a nice quiet dinner is a really nice thing for the whole family. So it really creates a sense of community and a sense of place, so we're really excited about that. The second component I'll talk about is what we're envisioning to be a boutique hotel. Currently, we're in talks with several hotel operators to partner with or really take over development of that pad site slated for hotel use. What's great about a hotel is it brings in outside tax dollars. People are visiting from outside of Lee Summit, so it creates a business opportunity for these local businesses. Also, they'd be able to, the hotel would benefit from the event space that will be created in the farmers market, which weddings, conferences, with the idea that those would also help spur activity in the downtown area by bringing in outside dollars and really just more density and walkability. While hotels are certainly our first priority, having done developments across our metro, usually there's been quite a few rather that we have worked with cities and key pieces of ground. And what's unique about those opportunities is good things happen in good locations. And so we're really keeping, I'll use an example at Redbridge Shopping Center, which is in South Kansas City. We renovated a center with a lot of mom and pop shops and bought some land next door to the center. And lo and behold, along comes Wonderscope Children's Museum, which was just a great use we never would have expected in a million years. But going back to the boutique hotel, our goal is to maximize that opportunity, find the right group. But who knows, maybe someone's listening to this podcast that has a great idea or a relationship with a use that could be a great fit for that site. But we really love what a hotel would bring. Finally, as far as the private components go, it would be multifamily. What's great about multifamily is it increases density, creates walkability, and really therefore vibrancy. When you have an area that's full of people and activity, it just has a different feel. So that's really important to help strengthen the downtown, even more than it already is. It's a very strong area, so really we're helping to just provide a further catalyst to growth.
So of all that discussion of the public and private components, we didn't touch on one of the most exciting features of the project, and that's the large storm sewer pipe that cuts that cuts the project in half.
Yeah.
Now, in all seriousness, there is a whole lot of site work that has to be taken care of, and that's currently under construction. And for a lot of the stuff that you can't see that is going on right now, particularly, there is a 72-inch storm sewer pipe that's being replaced. It's been there for quite some time. We've had some issues in downtown with stormwater, and this project will help alleviate some of that, increase the size of that box, and that box goes across 2nd Street and goes down a little ways. So it's the less exciting one depending upon who you are, but depending upon what you're interested in. But it is also a very important component. Not to mention the streetscape getting expanded down 3rd Street. Right now, the current streetscape kind of ends at Green and 3rd. With this project, that streetscape is going to go all the way down to Johnson Street and wrap the corner as well. So it truly is an extension of our downtown and an extension of that walkability that we've got in the area overall.
Really, all exciting elements. Yes, even the storm sewers are exciting to hear. One thing that kept on being touched on, how will activities such as concerts and events be programmed?
Yeah, so programming at the site has been one of the major drivers associated with the overall design of the public spaces in general. So we have been working with an outside consultant, Biederman Redevelopment Ventures, but we've also been working very closely with Downtown Main Street and our Cultural Arts Division. So programming has been one of the main considerations associated with the project moving forward. We kind of talk all the time that this project's going to be a success when there's people there. So constant activity, constant variety of different things, and just a great public space for that quality of life. So how is it actually going to be programmed? That's going to be done through partnerships. So there's going to be partnerships. There's going to be partnership opportunities for people that want to program at the space themselves. There's going to be that opportunity available. There's going to be rental opportunities. There's going to be programming that's going to be able to be provided by Downtown Main Street, programming that's going to be able to be provided through our Cultural Arts Division, as well as private partners as well going through there. So it really is meant to be a community asset. So the programming for that, there will be more information coming out as to the details as to how does one schedule a program to there, but that'll come out a little bit closer to when the facility is getting ready to open.
One thing that really got us excited about the project is the city's actually thinking about what they're going to do with this space after they build it. It's a big investment. Bringing on Biederman Redevelopment Ventures, they're a phenomenal firm. As we did some research on them, it's really amazing what they've been able to achieve. And really, they use social media and different avenues to really utilize these community assets and in a meaningful way. And so for us, it was really exciting to see a city that was realizing that trend and the opportunities it creates. So was a huge attraction for us as a private developer to this project.
Yeah, with all the activity and all the events that we currently have in downtown, I don't know the exact number. I think it's well over 100 events on an annual basis that occur in our downtown area. We really wanted to make sure that this project was additive to that, additive not only to the downtown area but to the community as a whole. So we've been approaching this as how can we build capacity? And what I mean by that is how can we build capacity for people to come and enjoy the space, build capacity by offering new and different events and keeping things fresh, and really being that draw for people to come down, hang out in downtown, linger, and have a little bit of an additional anchor in that extension of our downtown.
What is the timeline for the public components and the project in its entirety?
Yeah, so currently we're under construction with the public components, what we call GMP1. That's our public utilities aspect of that. That's all the exciting stuff that I was talking about earlier with the storm sewer, the sanitary sewer, and things like that. We're getting ready to move forward with the vertical construction and most of the plaza construction, and then we'll move into Johnson Street and 3rd Street from there. So current delivery date, we're expecting the spring of 2025 to be open. So there'll be a lot of construction activity going on. Green Street will close permanently soon. I say soon because the exact date on that, we're trying to keep it open as long as possible, and that varies a little bit with weather and construction scheduling and things like that. But this year it will be closed, and that'll be closed permanently, and then you'll really start to see a lot of movement. But spring of 25 is going to be a big year for the city of Lee Summit overall, not only just for this project, but several other projects. We'll be cutting a lot of ribbons that year.
Yes, as far as the private components go, now that we have a defined pad sites to work with and really a vision for the public components, it's really helped us garner interest from groups we'll need to partner with to bring these components to life. It's our expectation the first to be delivered would probably be the restaurant. It's a little simpler than some of the other components in the multifamily and hotel. We're not at the point right now where we can share a particular group that we've chosen, but one thing that's been really exciting is we're getting a lot of interest from quality users out there and quality operators. Let's put it this way, we're not looking to put a McDonald's or an Applebee's down here. It has to be something that's unique to the market, that's authentic, that really kind of matches the vibe of Lee Summit, so to speak. Meanwhile, we're currently also working on the hotel and multifamily. Really, the location is extremely desirable, and so it's been really fun to see what opportunities have come out of the woodwork on that. Really, as a master developer, our main goal, our sole goal on this project is really maximizing each part of it. This is a generational asset. The public components, we're looking at, those being utilized 70, 80, 100 years from now, and we really want the private components to be done right and done in a way that the city's excited about. So that's something we'll continue to pursue, and we'll follow up with the timeline as we get more clarity on those.
On that restaurant, do you think we might get some rooftop dining or seating?
That's our hope.
All
definitely.
right.
Yeah, that would be sweet. So
That would be
overlooking
sweet.
that public space would be awesome. So that's something we're looking at, and that's our hope for sure.
We have a great collection of downtown restaurants. It'd be awesome just to see another one down here. And like you said, Mayor, rooftop one would be just as great to have. But we can see at City Hall, construction has commenced on the Downtown Market Plaza. What is the current status and what are the next phases?
Yeah, so currently demolition of the existing structures that were on site has been completed. We're installing the storm sewer box right now, as well as several other utilities. And the next phases are going to be continued utility installation and mass grading. As we go from there, we're working towards getting the building pad built and getting the demolition of the existing site pavers and the front plaza of City Hall. There's a lot of earthwork and a lot of changes that have to occur there, as well as a little bit of, I'll say, specialized demolition, because we want to save all of those pavers that we've got out in the front of City Hall right now, because we can't really get those pavers anymore, and a lot of those can be utilized for the downtown streetscape over time. Still going to be a lot of site work moving forward until we get to go vertical. Towards the end of this spring, we'll start going vertical on that.
That's awesome. And it's great that we're reusing stuff that we already have for this component. The city has assembled a project team. Who is on that project team, and what are their roles?
So we have assembled quite a large project team. This is a complicated project, complex project with all the different pieces and how they fit together overall. But first and foremost, I think it starts with the great partnership that we've got, that the City Council has really with the Downtown CID and the downtown community as a whole. The Downtown CID has been a partner in this project really from the beginning, as well as not only a kind of a design partner, an interested end user, but also a financial partner as we move forward. So having that really kind of helped determine the rest of the project team, as we move forward. So we approach the project as it's different than a normal project that we've done because of the mix of the programming aspects, the private aspects, and the public facility aspects on a really small site overall. We're trying to put a lot on a very, very small site without going really tall either. So there's a number of different things that have to be balanced there. So we started building the project team with the programming and master developer, the management side and the development side in mind at the same time. And so we were able to bring on Lane 4 as that master developer to provide us as the city with that additional market expertise, that additional private component expertise as to, hey, if you make a decision here, that's going to have these impacts. That could be a number of different things along the way that, maybe we're thinking about it one way, whereas the private sector is thinking about things in a little slightly different way. And so maybe we can compare and contrast those two to come up with, I'll say, the third option that is really beneficial for both needs there. Same approach with the programming side and the management side, which is when we got Biederman Redevelopment Ventures on board. And their role has been as a consultant to ensure that as we're designing the space, that we're taking in the end user into mind from an event standpoint, from a storage of different components standpoint, the security aspects that are kind of unique to these types of public spaces. We also have a large design team associated with this. We've partnered with GLMV Architecture, and they've been the lead architect on the project. But as part of their team as well, Collins Webb Architecture has been a big help on the project with the interior finishes of the building. We've got a local structural engineer, Leo Kane. We've got Olson Studio has been doing a lot of the landscape architecture work and the civil engineering work associated with the project, because there's a lot of components on that aspect as well. We've got a mechanical engineering partner. Henderson Engineers has been handling the mechanical side of things. And then we've got environmental consultants. SCS Engineers has been helping us out with abatement and environmental testing. And then our large contracting partner is McCown Gordon. McCown Gordon they came on board during the pre-construction phases of the project, and they helped us with cost estimating all the way through, as well as the bid process and now the contracting side of things as our construction manager, and they're the ones that are in charge of building the project and delivering it for us. Brandon, please jump in if I'm missing anybody on the team, but I did want to mention that we have a very large staff team that is working on this project as well. We've got great staff in our public works group, in our development group, and our central building services group that are all spending a lot of time and effort on this project, making sure that it can be the best project that it can be, and really thankful for them being on the team and able to move these details forward.
Yeah, no, I don't think you missed anything. I mean, there's been countless community stakeholders that have been involved through discussions throughout the whole, that may not have been mentioned through Ryan's overview, but it's been a really community-driven process, and so it's been a really fun part to be a part of. We really enjoyed working with the city and staff and city council. Seems to be a lot of, a strong commitment to, putting the community first and really looking at this project as a lens to, what's in the best interest of the community and the downtown businesses. So, yeah, we've had a great team and really excited to show everybody what we've been able to put together.
Next question I have is, how is the city funding the Downtown Market Plaza?
Well, I can start, but then Ryan will have to finish because he's doing all the financing, the GMPs and such. But in the beginning, we've been working on this for 5 years, so we had to identify funding sources. We had remnants of land that we began selling. $1 million here, $3 million there, and we started building a nest egg to go towards this development as a whole. We've been fortunate with regard to some of these sales. I mean, some of them kind of actually fell in our lap, asset sales. And then we've also been very, very blessed that our general fund has grown and grown over the few years. So right now, City Council's considering taking action where we would use a bunch of excess cash that we have, a surplus, that's higher than our target for a general fund balance. So our general fund balance is very healthy right now. So we're going to take some cash there, and then staff has said, okay, here's how we can solve for the final number through bonds. So it's a combination of a lot of cash and a lot of bonds. I'd say it's about half and half almost, Ryan, or where are we at on that approximately?
Approximately, I think we're more cash than bond, for sure, overall on the project. As Mayor mentioned, we had a lot of opportunities over several years with remnant pieces of ground that were no longer needed. They no longer held a purpose for the city. And this project had been in mind for several years. And so that was able to kind of, over time, keep the project moving forward. And then combining that with our capital improvement plan, so some of the major infrastructure elements that I spoke about, there's a good chunk of the project funding that's coming from the capital improvement plan. And then the partnership with the Downtown CID. And then as we started analyzing what we call special obligation bonds to kind of figure out what that gap needed to be, with the mixture of the cash infusion, if you will, that's going to decrease the amount that we have to bond. And that special obligation bond is really going to be based off of sales tax revenues generated in the four corners of the project, as I would say it, as well as the four corners of the downtown area overall, to pay back those bonds. But as well as time moves on, we are planning on selling those remnant parcels that are not for public use, and so that will then be available to go back to pay those bonds as well. We're also in conversations with the Missouri Development Finance Board as a potential other partner on the project as well. So a lot of different sources coming together to finance this project in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is really a major investment in the community.
So what was the original funding for the project in 2013?
The original GO bond issuance had set aside about $600,000 in 2013, and that was the total amount that was set aside, and that money was utilized for pre-planning activities as well as to purchase some of the land associated with the project. Specifically, the Lions Den property was utilized for that, but I say the Lions Den property, and then I realize that nobody probably knows what that means.
Corner of 3rd and Green.
Corner of 3rd and Green. Yeah, corner of 3rd and Green there. So that funding was very necessary in order to kickstart the project off, and it just wasn't quite enough in order to make the project come to fruition. So that's why we've had to kind of seek these additional sources in order to make this project what it needs to be.
So why and how did the project grow from a farmer's market on the corner of 3rd and Green to what it is today?
We put a plan together where we put these assets in play. We cashed out. We sought other funding sources from the CID. We sought the state money that you mentioned, the grant that we're pursuing. And we've been really fortunate with our general fund revenues the last, sales tax revenues, property tax revenues the last 5 years, and it's just put us in a place where we can do this world-class like. We can do this in a way that is just absolutely phenomenal, and we've been super careful, and I mean super careful, every step of the way to make sure that this is an expansion of the charm of our downtown, that this is a good fit, that this is intimate, that this is welcoming and inclusive, and where you can just be mindful and in the moment. And that's what we're trying to achieve, and it wasn't about just throwing up a farmer's market. We've seen that done in the metro, and we wanted something more special than that.
Yeah, I think another interesting part about the original bond and where we are today is that I think it became very apparent after the bond election and the initial funding was available, and then we moved into design charrettes with the downtown area and the community as a whole, that the community vision was way bigger than what that original budget had really contemplated. I think that became apparent very early on, and then as a result of that, it started to be a bit of a, okay, how can we make this happen? What goes on? And then components started being added, and the vision of the community, I think, changed over time, and I think a lot of that changed with as our downtown changed as well. 2013, our downtown was great and doing well, but it's continued to evolve. It's continued to do well. It's continued to grow, and just like that, the vision of the community continues to adapt and grow. And we feel that the current iteration of the project more matches the long-term vision of.
I think that's a great way of saying it. You worded it really well there, because that's the experience you had when you went out in the community. You've seen the stakeholder input more than anyone, because you've taken the time to go out and meet with all the stakeholders on numerous occasions.
Absolutely. These downtown areas, are really thriving. What I see this project as being is really an anchor for Lee's Summit. When I say anchor, I mean a traffic generator. I'll say back in the day, but 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, what we saw as the anchor in retail development was Walmarts and Targets, and those don't create a sense of community. Those don't create vibrancy. Granted, there's a need for that, yes, but what really suffered is these downtown areas. They had empty, vacant storefronts. Nobody was investing, and so what we're seeing over the last 10 years is these downtowns are thriving again, because local, authentic, unique businesses go into those spaces, and ultimately that's what creates an identity for a market. So what the city's doing here is extremely important in solidifying that downtown area. So there is continued traffic. If we do have a downturn at some point, it's going to be able to buck those trends that hurt the main streets in the past. So it's a huge investment in the whole downtown, and really the identity of the city, because you can't build the downtown like it is today. New construction, you just can't achieve it. The construction costs just don't warrant it. So using what we have and maximizing it is essential to driving Lee's Summit forward and maximizing the potential that we have here.
And just for clarification, when you say traffic, you mean people.
People, yes.
People, not vehicles necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily, but walkability.
Walkability and people.
We want it to feel, dense. We want it to feel active and vibrant. And I can't tell you how many times I've driven around in cars with retailers who have never been to Kansas City, and we go into some market that they've never been in, and they say, well, gosh, this feels right, and a lot of times that's because it's active and people are moving around, and so that's what we really want to envision here for the downtown area is a market that's vibrant and active, and that's really going to snowball. Things are going to continue to move in the direction. It feels really organic down in the downtown market, but it takes a lot of effort and planning, and all the stakeholders, I mean, their drive and passion for the downtown market is really evident when you go out and talk to people. So, our hope is that we can build on the momentum that's already been created and really see the downtown area continue to thrive for generations.
Really phenomenal responses to that question. I appreciate it, and listeners will as well. So on to my next question. What is the expected economic impact on downtown and Lee Summit as a whole from this project?
Yeah, I could take that one on. If I could give a one-word answer, it'd be significant, and I don't mean to be coy, but I've tried to do this with other projects we've done that have some similar characteristics. This one with this project, I think, has many aspects to it that are above and beyond other community shopping centers that we've redeveloped. But there's a few shopping centers in the Johnson County market that I went and looked at retroactively and tried to look at different economic indicators or drivers. First off, housing values. Are people investing in their homes? Or what are those homes selling for? What are they being bought for? And around one of the centers we renovated, homes were trading for 20% over the market rates for similar properties because they're in close proximity to these downtown or these areas with retail amenities, coffee shops, restaurants, things of that nature. So there's the growth within a 2, 3, 4, or 5 mile radius of the site, and that's huge. There's also sales tax generators. When you have more people down here, they're going to spend more money. Restaurants are going to have higher volumes. That's going to create sales tax. People are going to reinvest into their properties, going to create more property tax, and so it really grows quite exponentially at times, or maybe not exponentially, but it really picks up growth beyond just your typical CPI 2% increases on a year-to-year basis. So it is really hard to follow or track that, and I would love to give you a dollar amount with any sort of sincerity. It's really hard to do, but what's the investment in the community is really going to help a broad range and broad spectrum of people. So that's exciting.
I'll just be more broad with my comments about this, but I think that downtown Lee Summit is the best in the metro because I'm biased, but I think that we've always been a local destination. Our citizens love our downtown, and I know that people travel to our downtown, but this is so special that it's gonna be one of those things where people in other communities are gonna say, have you seen what they did in downtown Lee Summit? And if you haven't seen it, you have got to go. And I think it's going to drive people down to our downtown, if only to drive by and see it. They're not going to be able to drive by. They're going to have to stop to experience it. But it's going to really make us a regional destination to experience our downtown. And I think that it's going to, Brandon alluded to it earlier. When there's a downturn, this type of activity will help shore up our businesses. Everybody struggles in a downturn, but this will help with all of our local, the mom and pop shops downtown, by creating that activity, in our most cherished, gem in our community. So,
like you said, significant. It really is everything. On to the next question. What other benefits will the Downtown Market Plaza bring to the city?
Yeah, so there's obviously the economic, the dollars and cents, the reinvestment that's going to occur. There's also just the intrinsic benefit of, creating a common community space for people of all ages and backgrounds. The programming will really be meant for people of all ages. We want to bring everybody down here. We want to hit a wide swath because that's what's going to help every business. Some businesses are geared toward different demographics and age groups, and we really want to hit everybody. And also we're looking at this project to be serving the community for generations. So, there's a long runway in which we can amortize those costs and really benefits of the project. I talked a little bit previously just about anchors that drive traffic and how things have changed over, from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We're really excited to see, this area continue to thrive and grow. It's hard to imagine it being any more, thriving than it is now, but it's really exciting to see the runway that the market has. But more than anything, we want people to come early and stay late. That's what really creates business opportunities and vibrancy for the area, and has that snowball effect, which helps everybody.
And it's going to be symbolic. We're reinvesting in our downtown. It's a major reinvestment. It's a blighted area across the street, and we are, as a community, we're doing this. People notice. People from other communities are like, "Wow, Lee Summit." They invest in back into their community. They're doing things the right way. I think it's going to be a source of pride for us. It's already a source of pride, but I'm just saying that the ball's always, the goal's always moving, and we need to always be looking to, better ourselves, and I think that this is a big part of that.
So I think one of the other big benefits that this project will have is it's going to serve as that place within the place. And what I mean by that is downtown Lee Summit's already a place. It's a place that people want to go. But this is also going to be a place where people can say, "Hey, meet me at the market," type deal. We're going to go hang out there for a little while, and then we're going to go to dinner or something like that. I'll be so bold to say that I've been considering this project and this facility similar to Union Station in Kansas City, as far as just a great public space that people go just to experience through there. I really see that this project has the potential of being something like that for Lee Summit specifically. I think that also it's going to offer things that we don't currently offer. We'll have that year-round aspect to the farmers market that we don't currently have. That's going to be a benefit to the community overall. We've got another space to have just different events, and I think there's so much potential with what that can be that I'm really excited to see what some other creative people have in mind in order to continue expanding this.
Well, it's great to see a reinvestment into a community that people cherish, that they'll get to see for generations to come, and something they get to grow with. As the goalposts keep moving, that goal keeps growing with it. Does the downtown area have ample parking to accommodate the increase in visitors to the Downtown Market Plaza?
Yeah, so parking in downtown right now, we have an existing parking garage right across the street, and it's, anytime I go over there, which is pretty frequently, it's probably 20% occupied at 20% capacity, so there's a lot of spaces to utilize in there. Furthermore, there's a lot of spaces on streets and in public lots to park on for the public as well. For the multifamily and hotel, we plan to address those parking issues and have those be self-contained in one way or another. We've got several options to choose from in those. So as those projects evolve, we'll be able to further define those uses. There are some huge events that go on in the downtown market. I've been down a few times, and there's 70,000 people at some of those.
100,000.
And I've, while you have to walk a little bit, it's all reasonable. We've always been able to find a spot, but let's not forget why we're doing this development. It's not, we're not talking about a strip center next to a Walmart, as I mentioned before. It's not intended to, park out front, run in, and get out of there and move on to your next thing in your life. This is an experience. This is an identity for Lee Summit, and the goal is we want people parking and staying for a while. We want them walking around, and guess who's that's going to help? It's going to help the that retailer that sells dresses or whatever. There's going to be some advertisement in the window. People are going to stop in and say, "Oh, well, why don't we stop here? Let's go to that coffee shop," and that creates vibrancy, and that's what we're trying to create here. We're trying to create an experience, and so we do have ample parking in the downtown. We're going to continue to supplement that for the private uses, but we want people parking and walking around. It's good for the community and good for the downtown area.
Yeah, I think the location of this being directly across from City Hall really allows us to utilize the downtown parking garage more efficiently. And what I mean by that is, if it can be utilized more hours throughout the day. Overall. So with this first phase of the public improvements, we're confident that there's enough parking there to handle the daily traffic associated with the public improvements for this project. We're also adding additional on-street parking, as well as a few other spots within the facility itself. And as Brandon mentioned, the private components will be required to handle their own parking. But we also, in our capital improvement plan, do have funding and plans for a second downtown parking garage in a different location in downtown. But that's being monitored. We have a baseline for traffic and parking numbers, and we're going to continue to monitor that, and that'll kind of help determine the timing of when that additional asset needs to come forward. But that's been in the long-range plan for a little while.
Are there items we haven't touched on that you would like to share about the project?
The only thing I can think about is visit the website. We have a project website. There's renderings up. There's going to be construction updates associated with the project as time goes on that website as well, which you can access through the City of Lee Summit's website, cityofls.net/DMP. Is the site to go. We got lots of information on there. I believe there's ways to contact us as well on that website if there's questions or ideas and thoughts, and just be on the lookout for further updates as things move along.
The only thing I'd add is from day one, I've always said we're going to build upon the greatness of the downtown, and that's what we're doing. We're expanding the charm down another couple of blocks, and I'm just excited that it's been a long haul to get here, so we're getting it done.
Say I'm driving down 3rd Street in 2 or 3 years' time. What would I see when I look at the Downtown Market Plaza?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of people hanging out and just being in the moment. They're going to be a lot like when you're walking down 3rd Street. I always say that it's the one place where people stop and smile and pet each other's pets, dogs. It's experiential, like Brandon mentioned earlier, and it's going to be a lot of that along the Green Street. What are we going to call Green Street? It's going to be a pedestrian street, so we need a name for it. But the farmers market itself is going to provide shade, and it's going to be the same over there underneath the canopy, and there's going to be a playground. I mean, it's just going to be people of all ages, from grandparents to kids, taking it all in and eating their ice cream and playing games, because there's going to be a lot of operation put into activities and such that make it a 7-day-a-week type of activity hub. So,
well, thank you for talking about the greatness of downtown, the greatness of this amazing project that's going to be happening, and it's already started. And thank you for joining me today, really.
Thanks for listening to the Green Street Beat. You can find more information about the Downtown Market Plaza project at cityofls.net/DMP.